Hello, my name is Beth, and I'm going to be showing you how to make this today on the X2's P2 conveyor system. You're going to start by opening up the riser system, and the conveyor sits right here on the 2A line. And then your tray goes right underneath it. It would be the 3 line. You're going to want to start by removing all of the slates out of the bottom of the P2. Just slide them straight out and they come right out. I like to start with my catch tray in already, so I have a place to set my screws and the screwdriver that xTool provides. I slide this in and I make sure that my connection wire is in and I place it down. And again, these screws right here, you have to make sure to use all 4 screws. When connecting the cord, there's a notch here on the bottom, and that goes on the bottom. You push it in, and then it comes with a little screw, and we just screw it to tighten it to hold it in place. I then run the cord along the side under these hooks to attach it. Next, we're going to install the rails. You want to make sure that the metal extension that you put on the end of one rail is for the back of the machine. This is where the laser passes over. You don't want to put the plastic one there because it will melt the rails. So this will just slide right into the back. You put the feet on the bottom and you are almost good to go. So once you open up the back of the riser and slide the feet in, it's just as simple as sliding it into these notches on the back. Next, we will do the same for the front, but because I have a small room and I don't have a large table, I use a wood horse in order to be able to have something for my rails to sit on. Now we're going to head on over to the computer and we will set the file up, and then I will show you how to set the wood up and start the cutting process. You're going to set this up by bringing it right up to the green line. About right there. And then from there, I go on over back to my conveyor feeder. Once you get into XCS, you're going to want to turn on your machine and connect to your machine. Mine is connected through Wi-Fi, so it's already there. You're going to change from working on slat flat to conveyor feeder. Your picture will change. This green line right here is where you line your work up to. So we're going to bring in our file. I always hit no display original size. I zoom out. From here, I always make sure that my file is the size I want it to be. I go into inches. It's just easier for me, so I do that by clicking this icon over here and it brings it up. That way I can make sure it's the size I want, which it is. I then go back into millimeters. Now that we're ready to set the pressure for the wood, I'm just going to double check again, make sure I am perfect. This is the lever right here to raise and lower for the pressure. And you just spin it like so until this one right here is where it's supposed to be. Now we're back in XCS, and we are going to refresh. Once you refresh, you can move your wood up to that green line as well by using the round knob on the bottom of the conveyor system. Head on back over to XCS, refresh again. That way you can see where your wood has moved up to. And my wood isn't slightly at the green line, which is okay though, because I will just move my project down a hair. And I'm going to line this project up with the wood. Also, we need to set tabs. I'm going to do it by spacing for this project. So I am going to do it, I want it about every 8 inches, so that's about 200 millimeters an inch, and then we just hit process and start. Back in XCS, we're going to set all these little bits inside of here to its own layer. Doing this is going to make it easier when you're cutting out in the order and you want them to cut out, and it's going to make it easier to set the different tab numbers. You're not going to need 200 millimeters every tab for these. For the small little bits, it's mainly 2. For this mask here, I'm doing 4. And all speed is set to 10 and the power to 65. Now that we have all our pieces punched out, it's time to paint. I like to use a roller, and I use outside paint that I get from the hardware store, and I just roll it. I'm going to take these little pieces that I cut out, and I'm going to put them along the back side of the top part. This is going to act for spaces so I can put lights behind it. I just put the glue right on these little risers. And here it is, all complete.